Hi everyone, and welcome back. Today we'll be discussing one of America's most influential presidents, John F. Kennedy. Who is he, what did he do, and why is he important? John Fitzgerald Kennedy, more commonly known as JFK, was born on May 29, 1917 in Brookline, Massachusetts. He was born to Joseph P. Kennedy, a businessman and a former United States ambassador to the United Kingdom, and Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, an American philanthropist. JFK was second to 9 children born in an influential family known as the Kennedys. His presidency lasted from 1961 to 1963, where he was the 35th President of the United States of America. A few things JFK is known for during his presidency was establishing the Peace Corps, help lead the end of the Cuban Missile Crisis, advocate for civil rights and propose the Civil Rights Act, and set the goal of landing a man on the moon. The Cuban Missile Crisis was a confrontation between the Soviet Union and the United States during the Cold War, or a political rivalry between the US and the Soviet Union. The Cuban Missile Crisis was closest to what almost started a nuclear battle. However, JFK's blockade on Cuba resolved the matter, ultimately easing the cause of what could have started a nuclear warfare. The purpose of the Peace Corps was to spread world peace throughout, allowing people to volunteer in order to help developing countries in struggles such as poverty, health, and education. Civil rights was a social movement which advocated for justice and equality for African Americans during the 1950s and 60s. In 1964, JFK introduced the Civil Rights Bill, a bill which protected the rights of all Americans to vote, ended segregation, and enforced integrated schools. Although JFK was assassinated before the passing of this bill, Lyndon B. Johnson passed his act as a law that same year. On May 25, 1961, JFK delivered his famous speech, A Special Message to Congress on Urgent National Needs, to Congress. In this speech, he mainly talked about the conflict between the US and the Soviet Union. However, what this speech is most famous for was the end, where he mentioned the space race between superpowers.
Now it is time to take longer strides. Time for a great new American enterprise. Time for this nation to take a clearly leading role in space achievement, which in many ways may hold the key to our future on Earth. I believe we possess all the resources and talents necessary, but the facts of the matter are that we have never made the national decisions or marshaled the national resources required for such leadership. We have never specified long-range goals on an urgent time schedule or managed our resources and our time so as to ensure their fulfillment. I therefore ask the Congress, above and beyond the increases I have earlier requested for space activities, to provide the funds which are needed to meet the following national goals. First, I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space.
Although the Soviet Union put the first man in space and orbit, President Kennedy was determined to put the first man on the moon. Although many believed this goal to be impossible, JFK proved them wrong when in 1969, a man successfully landed on the moon and returned back safely to Earth. So why is he important? JFK successfully led the Cold War as he helped manage the Cuban Missile Crisis, which prevented a possible nuclear war with the Soviet Union. Not only this, but he helped contribute to the civil rights movement with his proposal of the Civil Rights Act. JFK also set a goal to land the man on the moon, leading the Apollo program, which led to the successful first moon landing in 1969. He also helped with domestic and global initiatives with his creation of the Peace Corps. On the fateful day of November 22, 1963, the public was shocked when John F. Kennedy was assassinated in his car. Although his death was immediate, to this day his legacy has inspired future generations as he represents a symbol of hope and progress. His leadership has helped the United States grow as arguably the most powerful country.